Let's invest $5,000 for my total new to investing wife. We got married a couple weeks ago, and I'm really excited because we are going to share her investing journey on here on YouTube. I'm going to showcase her total new account that we have set up, and I have invested for her about $5,000. Now, she is going to be completely passive. She will not be buying and selling. I will be doing all of the work, and she will be watching us reap the rewards as she utilizes an investment account for the first time in her life. This series is going to break down some key concepts, including how to invest, why you should invest, and her overall progress with the ETFs she owns. I'm really excited to get into it. Of course, this is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, and just because I am buying or holding something doesn't mean that you should too. Let's jump into the video. Starting off, we're going to give her a little bit of a higher risk portfolio, but we will start with a safer ETF, an S&P 500 ETF that I'm sure a lot of people were expecting. So I put SPYM in there for her. And it has done poorly since we bought it. It's been in a little bit of a bear market, as has kind of the whole market. But that's okay. We will continue to average down. We can see actually, I bought 19 shares. So she does have about $1,250, closer to $1,220 as of today, because it has pulled back. Now it hasn't pulled back terribly. It was at $80, almost 81, and now we're sitting at 77.5. So not bad by any means. And the S&P 500, for those that don't know, is an index of the 500 largest companies in the US markets. It's pretty simple. You also get a lot of growth with that. In the last 5 years, it's up 81%. And if you go to the max, which this is just showcasing the long-term performance of this specific State Street ETF, it is up 442%. Very solid and very consistent, and definitely one of our safer options. Now, even with things dipping, this thing has consistently performed well. If we go back to the 1-year chart, we can talk about this day in April 7th, where everything seemed to drop from kind of the 2nd to the 7th. And since that day, it dropped all the way. It was $66 down to $58. Now it's way above. At highs, it was at $80. So it continues to move onward. And if it did even pull back 20%, 30%, 50% from here, I would continue to invest for both of us, because I also do have an S&P 500 ETF in my portfolio. I like them. They're just consistent, and their growth and their minimal effort. You can just purchase some every time you have enough money and continue on. So S&P 500 is kind of a no-brainer. Let's check out our next fund. QQQM. This is an Invesco fund, and it has performed really, really well. So kind of similar to the S&P 500, except it doesn't include the big financial companies the S&P does. It's a little more tech heavy. We have the NASDAQ 100. Of course, there is quite a bit less in holdings for this one. It is a little bit higher risk, but the returns have been solid, as we've seen a couple companies really push this one onward and upward. So for her, she has just under 6 shares, about $1,200 currently. It was about $1,250 originally invested, but we did buy near these highs, and so it did fall down, but not by much. Now, if we zoom out again with this one, we can see it has performed really well, 97% in the last 5 years. And if we go to the max, it's just a little over 5 years old at this point. Pretty good. 5-year returns. In that 5 years, it's up 100%. So you're averaging 21% annually, which is very, very solid. The S&P usually does 8 to 12% if you're looking more conservative, but we haven't had a crazy crash these last 5 years. It hasn't been a crazy, I mean, the pandemic was one thing, but it really hasn't been that bad of a crash or a correction. So I'm impressed with this one. I'm happy with this one. And I think she will be too in the long run. Now we're going to jump into our little bit higher risk assets, and let's see how they compare. The MAG 7 ETF. And let's see if I can get them all. This is the MAGS ETF by RoundHill, and it's only 7 underlying companies, but they are massive companies. And I'm sure you know the names of all of them. You might not know they were all in this ETF, but we have Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, and Meta. Oh my gosh, I did it. That's like my 5th take trying to do that. So I have been really impressed with this one. It is up 25% on the 1 year, but it is substantially riskier because of the fact it's less holdings. Now she has 15.3 shares, and we are down $21 total on the position. It has held up a little better than some of the others, but again, can't complain. we are going to continue to dollar cost average. And what that is, it's when you don't lump sum all your money into the market at once. So we did kind of lump sum for her starter portfolio. Again, it's about $5,000, about $4,500 invested at this point. And it's been solid. We're okay with taking a little bit of a loss because we got the money in and now it's in the market, hopefully making us money in the long run. We are long-term investors. Typically, I like some income and some growth at the same point. We're putting her completely in growth simply because she doesn't want to check it. She doesn't care. She does care, but she doesn't care to check it every day. And I like to. I like seeing my dividends. I like seeing what's paying the most, what has growth, what has dividends. And this is my smaller channel. My main channel is Spencer Invests, and I actually talk mostly about income ETFs, weekly dividends, monthly dividends, for those that don't know. But Nat is not interested in this stuff as much as I am. For me, it's a passion, it's a hobby, and for her, it's going to be a way to retire. So she has given me the reins on it, which is amazing, although it is all her account. Now, Mag 7. Pretty consistent. The only issue I have with this one is there's a lot of overlap because these 7 companies have been pushing a lot of the other indexes, the other ETFs up. So we're really heavily invested in these specific Mag 7 ETFs, in this specific Mag 7 stocks, excuse me. Now, one bright side with this is I did invest less. So for the first 2 indices, first 2 ETFs, I had $1,250 in each. For Mag 7, we did $1,000, which is a good starter position for sure. Actually, we may have done even less. We did even less. No, we did about that. And I'm okay with that. It's higher risk, but she's higher risk because she is, again, younger. Now we're going to check out our final holding, and I wonder if you guys could guess it. We had to do some Bitcoin. We had to do it. So we did the Greyscale Bitcoin Trust, and we have about 10 shares, which was roughly, I think it was also, about $500. Now, I didn't go all in on Bitcoin because we did buy it near the high. And as you can see, it has tanked terribly. So we will be dollar cost averaging. We're not diving all the way in yet, but it is now down on the year 12.3%, which is crazy because at one point it was up like substantially. If we zoom out, we can see the 5-year chart for this Greyscale Bitcoin Trust. Again, it's not direct in Bitcoin, although I guess we could in our account. But anyways, I already bought this. We've seen Bitcoin go low. We've seen it run. We've seen it go low again. So we will continue to average down. I do think we're going to see quite a pullback. But in that time, we'll continue to dollar cost average. And I do like a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin as kind of a different style of asset. It's not going to be impacted, or it's not supposed to be impacted as much by crazy market news. They'll run at different points. Different things can really push it forward. And so I think it is a very solid choice. Now, I do want to know there is some money left over in cash because if we are going into a red market, if we are going into a bear market, I want some money to dollar cost average. And so I will be utilizing that. But I want some feedback from you guys as relatively either new investors, experienced investors. What do you think of my beginner portfolio? When it comes to investing, this can be really scary, and I'm not saying to copy this strategy whatsoever. This is a distinct portfolio setup for my wife, for Natalia, because I know what she wants and her goals and how we're going to get there. If you are thinking you want to be a little less risky, you want to have safer assets, that's solid. Pick and choose and go with your gut and your long-term plan. If you want to have more risk, be my guest. That's just not our goal. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Again, give me some feedback. Are there any you think I should add to the portfolio? Should I get rid of some? I definitely I can see the comments coming. I think I am too heavily invested in Mag 7 with all the different things that this account is holding. But in the end, I will diversify a little bit more. This was kind of just a beginner one to get her going. So I appreciate all the feedback and all the intrigue in this series if you guys do have it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.